Standard 7, Substandard E. It's going to be the last substandard for Unit 7, or Standard 7, excuse me, and the last standard for Unit 3. Explain Jacksonian Democracy. That's one thing we need to talk about. This term is very important. Jacksonian Democracy, what is it? Okay. Expanding suffrage, the rise of popular political culture, and the development of American nationalism. These are some things we need to talk about. Our main focus here is on this term Jacksonian democracy and what it means. The common man, suffrage, or ordinary people getting the right to vote, actually white men getting the right to vote. Social and political interactions is a theme. Popular culture is where a lot more ordinary white men get a chance to involve themselves in the political culture. Actually should be popular political culture. And we're going to talk about social and political interactions there. And American nationalism, social and political interactions, same thing. Alright. Andrew Jackson becomes President of the United States in 1828. He's going to expand suffrage for all white men. He's born into poverty at a young age. His father was dead when he was born. His mother worked as a housekeeper. He pretty much became a self-made man. He was born in Tennessee, out in the West, instead of in the East Coast. And he really did not like the elite people out on the eastern coast of the United States. And he blamed these large business interest bankers and the elite on narrow opportunities for the poor and common man, ordinary individuals, especially the ones out west. And so in his opinion, because of this narrowing of opportunities for common men, that the wealthy and the rich and the elite on the East Coast especially had economic and political opportunities that were not provided in the United States for common ordinary men. And he felt like ordinary men pretty much stayed their position and could not rise in rank. And it was a shame because there were a lot more common men, ordinary men, and a lot less of these rich, powerful, elite people who wanted to control politics and the economy of the United States. So we talk about expanding suffrage first. Andrew Jackson, one of the things he wanted to pursue, he wanted to democratize economic opportunity and political participation for the common man. He wanted to open up opportunities for them. He believed that the common people could govern, could do a good job of it, and he said that they should have an equal chance to compete in the economic marketplace and in the political arena. And if they could do that, if they could vote, that they'd do a pretty good job at leading America. That every man is as good as his neighbor is one of the things Andrew Jackson used to say. Voting requirements before Andrew Jackson allowed wealthy individuals, the elite, to vote, because one of the requirements is that they own land. And one requirement in North Carolina said that you had to own 50 acres of land before you could vote. So it narrowed suffrage down to only a few elite people could, and in North Carolina up to the time 1850s, half the population couldn't vote because they didn't own land. The common man, the poor man, was landless, did not own land at all, had to rent, or was pretty much homeless. So that was an impediment or an obstruction for poor ordinary white men to have an equal chance at anything. Voting opportunity, there was none for the poor white man or common man. So Andrew Jackson, during his administration, is going to expand suffrage, and it's going to expand the right to vote, and it's going to become more democratic. He's going to cancel this property requirement to vote, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be over a series of time, especially out in the Western Territory. From 1828 to about 1850, we see that this property requirement to vote is diminished and canceled and done away with. So more of the common class of people, ordinary people, could go out and vote and participate in politics. And he became known as this became known as the age of the common man, and he became known as the common man's president. And with this, it's going to open up equal opportunity for poor men or common men or ordinary men in the economic area and in the political area. So there's more voting opportunity. Now, historians and politicians refer to this white males being able to vote as universal suffrage. Universal white male suffrage is what they're talking about, because at this time women didn't get to vote, African Americans did not get to vote, Native Americans did not get to vote. So really it's not really as democratic as it is today. However, this is a step in the right direction to people who believe in universal suffrage for everyone and total equality at the polls. We're going to see as we go, we've already studied Elizabeth Cady Stanton's movement to get women's suffrage, women's right to vote. That won't happen until 1920. But as we go, we're going to see more and more people voting, more minorities and women voting in the future as we study. All right, explain Jacksonian democracy. We've done that. Expanding suffrage, the rise of popular political culture. And what we mean by that is a lot more people began to vote. A lot more of the population had access to voting and suffrage. And as such, they're going to participate in politics a lot more. And participating in politics and the culture of politics, there's going to be a rise in that, an increase in that, as more and more white men get the chance to vote, and then eventually down the road women and African Americans. And we had this last part here in the development of American nationalism, with at the same time that there's a growth in opportunities for the common man to vote and participate in the economy and participate in politics. We also have territorial growth out west going on, and this huge economic growth spur during the Industrial Revolution happening. So a lot of Americans, especially commoners, and that was a majority of the population, 80 to 90%. There was only 10 to 20% of the elite at the time who were extremely wealthy. But this large group of the population becomes experiences a sense of nationalistic pride or nationalism, proud to be an American, proud to have opportunities. So if we were to summarize Jacksonian democracy, and this doesn't totally summarize it, but in the spirit of our standards it does, what we need to learn now. That Jackson became the champion of the common man, that he expands suffrage to common people to include the landless white males. In other words, they drop the requirement to own land. So ordinary people become interested in and participate in American politics. So we see this rise in popular political culture. And then Jackson is friendly to these commoners and ordinary people, but he made a promise to represent the ordinary people by attacking special privileges. So a lot of stuff we didn't study is how he attacked the national bank and how he resisted a lot of taxing of the American people to finance public transportation initiatives and things of that nature. But that's more of a AP U.S. history topic. But here in our standards, here's what we need to know about Jacksonian democracy for the test. That they dropped the land requirement for white males, more white males get to vote, and suffrage or the right to vote is expanded to landless white males who don't own land. We see Andrew Jackson on a $20 bill and on a golden coin, and that's where we'll see his picture and image in our everyday life when we deal with money. And that's it. Explain Jacksonian democracy, expanding suffrage, the rise of the popular political culture, and development of American nationalism. I hope this helps you on the test. Good luck.